Hey there, friends and enemies, Jopa here again, and today I want to talk about the Dawning in Destiny 2, go over some tips, tricks, and reminders on how best to farm the event. We do have a new memento that I think is very clean, as well as a brand new glaive to talk about. I'm not sure how strong it is as of yet, but it does seem like it could be very interesting with the right rolls. But first, I did want to mention that I'm going to hold off on grinding personally this event too hard right away because it does feel like the drop rate for the ingredients is very low and will be buffed at some point down the line. Bungie has a history of buffing the drop rates of the materials in the seasonal events, especially as time goes on. Maybe by the end of this week or next week, we'll see that happen. It just seems like they are very, very low to start the event. And that is something that I hope gets addressed because it doesn't feel as worthwhile as the past events we've gotten recently, which you've been able to farm a little bit easier. But if you are jumping in right now, the first thing you should do, if you have it, is equip the Starfarer 7M ship. If you don't have this, it's okay, but if you do, a reminder, it does have the Spirit of the Season ship mod, grants a chance to generate Dawning Spirit whenever you find a Dawning ingredient. That is very nice, and you want that on immediately when you start the event. You also could rock some of the past Dawning weapons, like a Cold Front, which does have the origin trait Dawning Surprise. Rapidly defeating targets awards a Dawning Gift. Defeating powerful targets counts as more than one. This is very nice because those Dawning Gifts are going to come in handy when you are farming for the mementos as well as for the glaive. Now, in order to get the memento, you're going to jump in and do the quest, and this is going to ultimately lead you to the Winter Night quest, which will allow you to get your first memento. After you acquire it one time, then you will have to use it. Remember, you can only hold one Dawning memento at a time. Use it on a weapon that you like, and in order to get the next one, you're going to open up some gifts and it'll be granted to you randomly. In order to get gifts, not only can you use the perk for the Dawning weapons, but you're going to bake cookies for the different vendors. Once you give them to them, you have a chance of getting a Dawning gift, and that is going to allow you to open it up. Once you do so, you will get a potential chance at getting not only some of the weapons, but also the Dawning memento. You will also be able to focus the weapons once you have unlocked this part of it, and you will get the Albedo Wing Glaive, as well as have the Stay Frosty Pulse Rifle, Avalanche Machine Gun, Cold Front Submachine Gun, Glacial Chasm, and then also the Zephyr Sword. The Zephyr Sword is interesting because it's the only one I believe that has Cold Steel, which is very, very interesting. So you definitely want a few of these options. All of them are pretty solid, but the Albedo Wing is what I'm going to be chasing first. Now, before you start the quest, in order to try to get the memento, which is the Winter Night quest, you're going to see it says Snowball Final Blows, as well as upgraded Snowball Final Blows, as well as classic butter cookie. This is what you bake for Eva Levante. Now, you want to make sure you grab this long winter snowball upgrade before you start throwing all of your snowballs, or before you hit the 50 mark, because once you hit 50, you're going to need 25 of the regular ones as well as 25 upgraded snowballs. So you're definitely going to want to grab this right away. In order to get Dawning Spirit, you get that from completing events, but also mostly from the bounties. That's the easiest way. As you can see, the weekly bounties grant 10. You can get 2 from the daily bounties, and you will also get a Dawning Spirit from your additional bounties as well. So you can really farm these, especially if you're baking cookies, and kind of doubling up by also getting gifts at the same time. So that's really, really easy. If you are baking a couple reminders as well, there's some things to keep in mind when it comes to as obtaining the ingredients. Obviously, each one of them has different locations. Like you have Ether Cane, which will drop from the Fallen. You have Delicious Explosion from the explosive kills. So you want to make sure you're looking specifically for which ingredients you need, and those are going to be conducive to the actual cookie that you need to craft. As far as the essence of Dawning, if you're struggling to obtain that, the best farm, in my opinion, that I found so far is surprisingly Gambit. I was getting between 17 and 20 Essence of Dawning with every match, and those matches run between 5 to 6 minutes, and so you can really up that number really easily. And so that's what I would recommend if you're looking to farm for Essence of Dawning. Now, other than that, some other things to remember. Vanguard strikes are easy to get a wide variety of different ingredients while also getting Essence of Dawning and also throwing snowballs at the same time. It's the most universal activity in the Dawning event that you can farm if you want to get everything done all at once. But if you want to target farm, don't forget that you can actually load into specific strikes to farm certain enemies. You can go to certain locations because the open world areas, they will have snowballs as well. So if you have a location where you know certain public events with certain types of enemies will be spawning, those are really easy to farm and something that you can get these materials, these ingredients really easily. So keep that in mind as well. Other than that, it's pretty straightforward overall. Definitely look up a guide if you're curious, if you forgot where some of these ingredients come from, how you obtain them, like Null Taste. If you don't know, definitely look it up and have a guide handy, because it does get a little bit frustrating when you're trying to farm for a certain thing and it's not dropping. Maybe you might be missing something within that farm. But yeah, other than that, a pretty straightforward event overall. I'm enjoying it less, I think, than the Halloween event this year, just because it felt like that was more easily farmable because there was a specific activity tied to it. Whereas this one, the armor set is pretty solid overall, especially for the hunter. But for me personally, as a Titan main, I don't think I really care for the Snow Plume Titan bundle. I'm not a big fan of it, honestly. Overall, it's solid, but not anything that I think I'm going to spend the Bright Dust on, although I might with the Warlock, to be honest. Anyway, those are the tips and tricks. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Helps me out tremendously. Shows you want to see more Destiny 2 content from me going forward. My name is Jopa. Have a good one, and I'll catch you all later.